Ronnie Raymakers, Jared Firth, Hicker Elliott, new to the team this year. And it's Hayden Cripps with the kickoff. Hanging high and misjudged completely to start the game. Infield, and now a mistake early. Picked up, carried on by Marshall, and Marshall dragged down 10 out from the line. Poor start from Counties Manukau on the kick reception, and now Tasman with great attacking position. Swanepoel fires it out. Puafisi, the man with the charge. He will set play for Swanepoel again. Quentin McDonald up to Fornatia. He's a handful. Banks coming in to help. Swanepoel again darts around the left. And finally taking into touch by Tim Perry.
Well, there's attacking intent, and then there's not playing the percentages. And there you saw Counties not taking the kickoff accurately, not looking after possession, presenting an opportunity straight away for this Tasman side, who will take every chance they get.
And they've called a short line out as Counties Manukau. Jeff Hicker Elliott, fantastic last week against North Harbour.
Four-man play. Money ball. Tuala just drops it off to the captain, Fritz Lee. Good meters from him. Head down, charge, and an exit play on the go. The kick's made. And will take play into touch just outside the 22. That's constructive from Counties Manukau.
Absolutely. Starts the set piece. Nice, accurate line out. Ball off the top. Get some gain line. Get a little bit of momentum going forward. Create some space to release the pressure with the kick. But a great attacking opportunity for Tasman, who have great attacking structures. They get in good positions nice and early.
James Lowe's moved off his wing. He'll be stationed outside Hayden Cripps. Ball is won. Cripps now. And just fed it up to Fonatia, who's happy to take the tackle. Swanepoel again. They stay far side. Strong running early from this Tasman team. Banks with a great offload to Heem, and Heem trying to get on the outside of Vaipulu, couldn't do it, and now Tony Pulu clears downfield. Happy to kick back to Tasman tonight, Counties Manukau. Christie falls over. He's put the Kirtley Beals in. They'll be changed to 21s at half-time. Stouts fed the ball up, and here's August Pulu, leads the carries for this Counties team this year. Iono into the tackle of Puafisi. That was a meeting of the minds. And the first penalty of the game goes against the Marcos, so the Steelers have withstood the early pressure and have lived to tell the tale.
You can see the intent from both sides, though. If they receive possession of a kick, they will look to try and shift the ball to the width, to the outside space, then maybe look to do a cut or drop someone off, we call, against the grain, see if they can find a little bit of a seam to break through there. You know that both teams want to play, but it's a case if you want to make the percentages work for you. And
Scotty, interesting to see Christie there falling over, because I heard the sweet music coming down the tunnel here of the Counties Manukau team. All the boys had their 22mm studs in. Wasn't quite the same when the Marcos come down.
Messi again at set-piece time, taken in by Firth. 14 tackles per game for Jared Firth. It's a great work rate for the tight head. And again, penalty advantage now against Tim Perry. Ball's loose and will come back. Shoulder charge from Tim Perry and late.
Just to see, not having another look at that, given the fact that it was late. Once again, the same intent. Tuala, I'm sure, didn't strike that punt entirely well. It was sort of an overspinner, as we see here. That's a shoulder charge late. Tim Perry punished there, and I suspect he wasn't keen on the 45-metre kick on the angle as his first shot of the night.
I'm not entirely sure Asi Tuala will be taking any kicks outside the 22. Great work from Tupou in the line-out. And now Counties Manukau, who have piggybacked on penalties all the way downfield. Ray Lilo now on Marshall, and Marshall read that well. Cripps over the top. Back for Pulu, and Pulu always keen to have a go.
No, blue. One out.
Hicker Elliott pops it up for Fritz Lee. It's Fritz Lee on Swanepoel, who makes his tackle. Short side play for Jimmy Tupou. Outside the 22, this ruck forms. Slow ball for August Pulu to work with. Vaipulu, couple of tries for him as Cathcart has a dig around the side.
Stay here.
Pulu again. No deception so far in this back line, but look for Sherwin Stowers. trying to break the tackle. Can't do so in an effective turnover. And a double turnover. And a triple turnover.
No one.
All we need is an apple turnover. Ball cleared by Banks. And he will find touch, or will he not? Yes, he does. Counties Manukau had a chance to throw in, but decide to pause.
What the Tasman defence are willing. There's no doubt they are back down on the physical challenge. The defence very strong, and they kept coming forward. Nice clearance there. Every time they were able to stop this Counties momentum, turn their forward pack round, it is of a huge advantage to them. They need to work hard defensively to take those ball carriers away from this Counties side.
Elliott with the throw, and Raymaker's got it on a second dig. Pulu again running with ball. And here's Tony Pulu. Strong carry from Tony, and Shane Christie brought him down. Tuala, a second man to Bundyaki. Almost slips through. That's come off a Tasman player. Play on's the call. Well, I'd like to see the replay here. Looked to have come off a Tasman defender as opposed to a knock-on, but we'll soon find out.
As we see here, just pushes it out. Tuala finds the backdoor pass. Aki, just a nice little dummy, and I think you'll find, yep, as he's going to ground, he's tried to play it. As we see here, I think, unless Marshall's, no, I think it had already come up out of his hands. May have been knocked back, but referees decided to go back. And of course, Camo, scrum time.
Well, it's scrum time, goal, because it's a little bit soft underfoot, they're actually going to have to get their feet up a little bit closer than we're traditionally seeing. But going quickly back to Bundyaki, isn't that a great example, Jeff, running the ball in two hands? The deception, you can use it with. The defenders get attracted to the ball, don't know what you're going to do, pass, kick, tuck. Very important skill.
Well, August Pulu leading the competition, as we mentioned, in carries. 33 coming into the game. He's added another 6 already in this one. 8 offloads as well, leads that count.
Well, he will continue to run. That's the strength of his game. And deceptively strong. Has the ability to stay on his feet, has good footwork, and his nice touch passes, finds his support. County's been a little bit inaccurate in the first early part of this game, but you think the looser the game, the more it suits them with the game breakers they do have out on that field.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
So Tim Perry this side with a season under his belt with the Blues against Jared Firth.
And Scotty, we're getting back to a good point that Jeff made too about feet going to have to be up. We see Tim Perry there chasing his feet. So when he hit, he's actually moving his feet on the ground. Now, if he brought them up 6 inches to 9 inches, he wouldn't have to do that. A lot solid, lot stronger platform. Another example coming up now.
I don't even know what language that is.
Sit. Yes, no.
Swanepoel feeds.
They bounce.
Good scrum from Tasman, and good ball to work with for Marshall. And Marshall, no prizes for guessing what direction he'll run in. White ball out to Cripps, and Banks up from fullback. Now Bryce Heem thought about having a crack on the outside. Lilo was across to shut him down. Tony Pulu also there. Marshall getting busy. Coming in at first receiver, leaves the ball. Iono slightly confused about where the offside line is. And Banks again. Marty Banks, we understand, Jeff, had some time around the North Harbour province.
He's come and had a bit of a run around, ended up going to Russia actually for a little bit of a contract. Good all-round player, as we see Tom Marshall just driving them back. Just going into the dead ball area. But you're right, came up to club rugby in North Harbour. It makes you a bit of an impression. Then Canterbury managed to find him a contract in Russia, of all places. He went over there, had a great experience, played for Buller last season. I think was the leading point scorer for that union. But now taking his opportunity just up the road in the Tasman region.
Interesting players that New Zealand fans will remember. Toby Moreland and Dean Horton, still up in Russia playing for the Krasnoyarsk club in Siberia. Kieran Cole, who has spent some time with Canterbury, and South Canterbury, also from that club. Russian rugby, it's not for everyone. And a banana kick here. This one aiming for the touchline. Banks got a hand on it. Knocked it back inside his 22. Some of the passing from Tasman early in this game has not been accurate. Marshall has a crack. Hulai now with a decision to make. Catching it first would have been best. So we'll have the scrum, and Tasman.
Just a case of sometimes having far too much time. He was already probably thinking about what he was going to do with it, had enough time to run. First job, first and foremost, is to take that position cleanly. But the platform from both teams, Camo, pretty good to start with.
Yeah, they certainly are, but I want to stay on Russia for a little bit. I played for the French Barbarians a few years ago with the Russian national lock forward. He's a skipper. Unfortunately, and with respect to him, his name escapes me. In fact, it had too many vowels. But I certainly remember sitting in the sheds with him afterwards, communicating through some refreshments.
How many years ago? That was more than a few.
Well, I don't want to take my socks off and shoes off to start counting them all, Scotty, but it was a few.
I think there's been a sense of frustration the first couple of weeks, but it was always going to be a case of patience around scrum time. Teams getting used to the best way of dealing with having to hook the ball now, to actually put a foot on it, to get it back through the channel. And the defensive option, do you put the second shunt on with 8 players, engage your loose forwards?
Also that issue too, we saw it a couple of times during the weekend of wheeling the scrum. Referees looking at their back 5. Now, with a good opportunity, Tasman. And they drop it into Lowe, who came off his wing again. Used Peter Beetham a lot in that department last year, the Tasman team, so not much has changed in Kieran Kane's attack setup. Mark Swanepoel with a nice hole to work in for Koloa Matangi. And Quentin McDonald with a carry. Cripps now. He'll take on the line. Oh, mama! Just killed a man. Here's Heem. Heem on a 1-on-2 gets the offload away. And Fonatia. Swanepoel back, whips it across to McDonald. Saw some space. Now, Huafisi got a fend working on Vaipulu. Plenty of width on the pass to Cripps. And Cripps again, ducking under a high shot.
He's brave, there's no doubt about that. Got absolutely poleaxed earlier on in that phase. Took it back to the line as they switched back. Interesting to see whether or not there's any further action here.
7. Shot.
As they're taking the shot. Thought he was looking to call out.
Well, quite relaxed, Grant Stewart. A couple of big shots in there. Here's the first.
It's come off and up over the shoulder, but you can't play in and around the head area. We see here, off his right foot, decides to take the line on again, and just same thing. Just Pulu having a crack at him, but no problem at all. Up he gets, jumps back into the line, and Marty Banks will have the responsibility.
Go with it.
Once again, Jeff, an example of the softer ground here at Ecolite Stadium. You've got a real good firm footing. Anything on the inside, so attacking the inside weak shoulder, going to get over that gain line.
I'll tell you what I have seen already as well, Camo. On that far side around Tony Pulu, counties are not getting enough numbers on the far side, on the short side. Tasman working down a number of areas, and they've made lots of ground in there, not numbering up, not getting people to identify who the defensive targets are. As the ball falls over, 30 seconds left. 30 seconds.
I tell you this, Marty Banks is a dead ringer for Art Garfunkel.
30 seconds for you to finish off that verse of the Queen song, Scotty.
Banks gets the goal. 3-0 to Tasman. So it's been end-to-end action to start us. 14 minutes gone already. 3-0 the scoreline. Both teams showing some good attacking intent, but some inaccuracies in the passing from Tasman has cost them, and some scrappiness at set piece for Counties Manukau.
Absolutely, and it's all about looking after possession, getting into your game, and Counties just haven't managed to find that flow, not getting some go forward. And Tasman themselves, as you say, just putting the ball in behind some players, look to clear their territory.
Oh, that's a good kick-off. It hung in the air, and the threat was coming in the form of Tony Pulu, so Counties Manukau will have the scrum feed. It's 1-1 and drop balls.
Any excuses for that, Camo? Is there any reason? But guys, Is it dewy out there? Is it tough for those? Lights are pretty good.
Lights are fantastic. No dew forming at the moment, Jeff. Just a sneaky little look. That is the only reason you can drop a football like that.
No chase. No chase.
Great attacking opportunity here. Pulu just sitting in behind Tuala. Expect Aki to run very tight and short. They might do an 8-9 here. Typically, Pulu looking to run.
Yes, 9.
Tasman get a shunt on, but Fritz Lee does go. And then he's harassed from the back, slapped down by Swanepoel, so we'll have a penalty. Interesting call this for RC Tuala. Does he take a shot at goal?
This will get an indication of exactly how confident he is in his goal kicking. It's an important part of any game, and as you see there, they're going to continue to play.
That's brilliant.
Well, I'm not sure about that, because you've got to find out at some point. And this is the perfect opportunity for a kicker, because it's by the sideline. It's actually, everyone expects you to miss it anyway. You're the second stringer, third stringer. But have a crack at it.
Double-edged sword, though, isn't it? Because Tasman now can say, we can infringe in our own 40. They're not going to take a shot at goal, but they could kick for touch and operate their attack off a set piece. There is the throw, and there is Pulu running through. And he's somehow managed to stand and go right through the tackle, but Ainley has taken the ball off him. Like the schoolyard bully, and now Cripps with a clearance. So they dodged that one.
Certainly just tried the trick play through the middle of the line out there. Just didn't quite come off, and then just great strength from Ainley to rip it away from Pulu. Another missed opportunity from Counties, and you work hard to get field position, you work hard to try and earn your points. If you are not prepared to take them when they're on an offer, it may give Tasman that little bit more confidence.
Raymaker's up again, a scrappy ball, but Tuala now to Fritz Lee, up to meet him quickly. Gee, Hayden Cripps has been brave tonight. That's dropped by Jimmy Tupou. Picked up, no, knock on. Pulu back again. Here's Stowers up from fullback. Whips this one across. Naki comes back on an angle. Solid run from the Chief. Pulu again. Short side play. Finds Shaw, and Stowers on the outside. Then the knock on. Banks gets some toe on it. And advantage still applying. So we'll come back for the scrum. Well, while that's happening, let's head down to the sideline. Ian Jones standing by with Tim Nunai-Williams.
Yes, I certainly are, Scotty and Tim. This is an area that we see a lot of at the moment, unfortunately. Mate, how's that injury coming on?
Yeah, it's not too bad. I had surgery a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, it's coming pretty well. So just started rehab on Monday. So yeah, can't wait to get into it.
Your team just had their best first attack of the evening. You're a bit twitchy.
Yeah, a bit twitchy. All right. Get a bit excited when the boys done in Tasman's red. So yeah, the boys just need to be patient at the moment, and things will come well.
What about your mate RC Tuala? He doesn't want to take any of those shots at goal.
Oh, he's a good kicker. I hope he backs himself to get those goal kicks. So no, he's a very good kicker. He's a talented boy. So I guess we'll see a bit of magic from him tonight too.
Okay, Scrum's just about to set. Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Thanks, Carmo. Thanks, Timmy.
Possibly one of the biggest first fives in New Zealand rugby.
Large.
Tuala.
That scrum's popped up. Quentin McDonald has raised his head at scrum time, just like a periscope, having a look around. And now Swanepoel back in the end goal for Banks. Just had a tweet through on Marty Banks. He won't appreciate this, Jeff, but you'll remember the show Saved by the Bell. And the Waimea old boys call him Screech.
Oh, do they?
So there's one.
You've gone down on this list.
There's one. I had to get that out.
Look, expect Counties to go up front. Maybe look for a little bit of a line-out drive. Some pressure on.
They're all over your side.
Raymakers.
All over your side.
Drops down. This is a good drive, promising stuff, and Hickory Elliott wants to get his dirty mitts on the ball at the back there. He'll have a plan. They keep the drive going. Penalty advantage. Steelers for the try. It's Pulu who drops down the halfback. Came in and took the glory.
Smart play from the halfback. Got his hands on the ball, recognised they had plenty of way on. You'll see late here, whether it's Fritz Lee, I'm not sure who it comes in late to put on. Might be the winger, actually, Tony Pulu. To put a little bit of weight in behind him, but once they got set, Carmo, too difficult to stop. Tasman needed to compete or bring it down, and you'll see here, good position. Everyone gets set nice and quickly. Tasman very slow to stop the momentum, and then no one manages to work through the middle, and they just continue. And once it's structured, Carmo, very difficult to stop.
Yeah, well, the ball transfer from Rainmakers to the back, very quick, very slick. So all the players in front of the ball helping out. Look at those daisy pickers coming in. 10, 12, 14 also might have come in, goalie, to lend a hand. Didn't really need it. The forwards are up and over, and that may be the spark that the Steelers team needed.
How good was the work of Ronnie Raymakers? Joe Wheeler trying to swim through there, and Raymakers said, get out. Here is Tuala, 15 in from touch on the 22. Oh, what's he waiting for?
What's he worried about? Straight over the black dot.
That's one way to get underway in terms of ITM Cup kick points. There is the injured Baden Kerr and Tim Nunai-Williams, sideline.
Just that failure from Tasman to clear their own territory, release the pressure, presented counties with that first opportunity. Now get this ball nice and high, put some pressure on, contest the kick.
Now there's a penalty again, crossing over, so kickoffs not going well for Counties Manukau at the moment.
There's nothing worse when you're a coach. You work hard to get points on the board. You work hard to get down to the right areas of the ground, and then to make a simple mistake, not keeping your eye on the ball, protecting the catcher, creating the obstructions we see here, taking their eye off the possession, not allowing the Tasman defenders to come through and make the tackle. Easy for Grant Stewart to make that call.
And Jeff, in that situation there, it's about ground awareness, where you are, what's the flight of the ball. And you actually didn't even need to jump for it. None of the blockers needed to be involved. Could have been the easiest catch there. You're standing on the ground and you reset from that.
Communication so key there, Camo, isn't it? It's the fact you just need to talk to each other. The lock's usually saying off or clear to give him a little bit of space to know that he is not needed in the support.
So Marty Banks lines up another. I know the Buller boys are tuned in watching this and supporting their mate Marty here tonight. So hello to you boys. Good luck for the rest of the Heartland season. And to all the Heartland teams, wish you the best for your matches tomorrow. Get along and support them wherever you are. Here's Banks. And he started it right. That'll hit the post. Bounces back. Some confusion now and offside.
Classic. You talk about awareness, understanding the rules, knowing that player that is behind you touches it, you can't play the ball in front. As we see here.
Goldie, you talk about rules and you talk about natural instinct. When that ball's there, you just grab it.
Well, grabbing it's going to cost them 3 points. It's an awareness. You have to understand that. You know, the good players, what do they do there? Put the hands in the air and they back off.
I've never understood that rule in so many ways, because surely the first offence is the knock-on.
Well, then there's no advantage to the other team. No advantage to the other team.
Very true.
You should have the opportunity to play the ball.
I'm glad you're here. Here's Marty Banks, and he adds 3 more, so 7-3 the scoreline. And Marty Banks getting the job done from the tee. Had 2 cracks at it.
The one thing we should know about Tasman is they just never go away. They're that team that plays for 80 minutes. They will toil, they will toil, they will toil. They'll stay into close games, and we know that they can break out from anywhere.
Asi Tuala, whose last kickoff was good, it hung up, gave his forwards a chance. This one a little deeper, and doubtful the Marcos will make the same mistake, and they don't. Kalua Matangi.
We're outside.
Cripps has to go across. Here's Fonotia.
Roll 12.
He's one direction, not the band. Cripps now. And this one will drop on Stowers, and Stowers 5 in from his own touch, picks up Lee. Oh, big Fritz. Straight through 2. Took another 2 to bring him down, and Stowers is there to Pulu. Drops it on the boot, and they make some metres. Counties Manukau, Fritz Lee.
He wound up then. He wound up. He got going, didn't he? He got going full in stride, straight through the heart of the Tasman defence with the way on. Cripps, Marshall going too high. Suggestion, boys, bootlaces when something's coming at that rate of knots.
Hayden Cripps just called yours. Lobbed in. Ainley, who's the line-out man for this Tasman team. He leads their line-out takes this season. Squire, their second man at line-out time. Marshall comes back and bounces off a couple before setting play just outside the 22 and back for Cripps.
Stay one, stop one.
Here's Hullo. Will he have a crack? Stowers will. Stowers drops it off this time for Tony Pulu. Hullo stayed in support and cleaned some bodies. Fritz Lee was there, and Pulu now round the outside.
Yeah. Counter is fine.
Fritz Lee couldn't quite pick the ball up. Vaipulu can. Now he's isolated. And the ball should come back in County's favour. It will, one way or another, and it will come back via penalty.
You've almost got yourself.
Good contesting of position from Tasman there. The initial first counter ruck getting in and over the ball. But once they lost their feet as they were driven back, they were in a position where they weren't able to clear away. Tuala had a sneaky peek at the post, but decided, no, we'll stick to our plan. I like conversions only, as we see here. Nice run from Pulu again, though. We talked about his running meters, Sumo, recognising maybe going off the ground. You see here, all of a sudden, they drive through, they work hard. Marshall recognises as he goes to ground. No opportunity to roll away.
Raymakers
No, leave it to
took it in. Again, they'll set the drive here, Counties Manukau, backing their pack after that try to August Pulu. Again, it's Hicker Elliott at the back, just organising. Now, August Pulu drops it off for Tony Pulu and Bundy Aki. That is a great try. Simple and effective play from the Steelers. And it's the Chiefs men combining.
August Pulu. We talk about reading that space in and around ruck time. The work off the line out, not going anywhere. Looking for an opportunity, reading where the space. Plenty of numbers and support as we see here. Just drawing in defenders. Pulu to Pulu. And Bundy Aki, his support play, a feature of his game, Camo. Just great execution.
It was a static drive, wasn't it? Because the ball was in the air a bit longer, line-out time. But you see defensively, the markers 2 and 3, a little bit wider. Committed, they come in off their wing. Conversion successful, Scotty. And the timing, brilliant. The depth, very hard thing to coach. And the crowd are right into it now. Steely Dan is pumping them up.
Living on a Prayer is playing too. If that's not going to get you started, I don't know what will. Hayden Cripps. And this time, Counties Manukau, third time lucky, and again, the reception work no good. The ball is there, but it's come forward out in the tackle, so Alex Ainley, no rights to pick that up.
Well, Steve Jackson will have a bit to say about that, I'd say, at half-time. In terms of kickoffs, getting nice and strong, making good, clear calls, getting the lifters on. Looking for that opportunity to secure possession. Once you've made those points on the board, you've created the work up front. You've got 14-6 in front. You want to get down the other end of the park. There's plenty of intent, but also the percentages, the simple things.
Reverse angle shot there, getting up close and personal at scrum time.
Crouch.
The two halfbacks, both with Super Rugby experience.
Fine.
Swanepoel hung around the Crusaders for a while before heading across to Canberra. Big scrum from the Finns here, and we'll come back.
Yeah, Hicker Elliott will be very dirty on that one. Certainly his forwards behind him. That is just purely a concentration issue for Counties on that occasion. The hits were good, steady. Then when Hicker goes to hook it, of course, it's 8v7. So the guys, the back five, really have to switch on.
You really can't afford to go to sleep at any stage at scrum time. You can't afford to not keep the pressure on. And as you say, when Hicker Elliott puts that foot up,
Crouch.
that's the time when Tasman are going to put the pressure on them.
Fine.
We're coming up to the 30-minute mark here. 14-6 the scoreline. 2 tries to Counties Manukau, 2 penalties to Marty Banks for Tasman on debut for the province today. And there are the records between these two teams.
Right, let's go, thanks.
Biggest win came in the first match. Tasman put 50 on Counties Manukau. As a team, Tasman, since their inclusion in the comp, have never leaked more than 49 points. No one's ever put 50 on them.
Crouch!
Testament to their tenacity as a team.
Fine!
Very much a community
Set!
up there in
Yes.
Nelson and Blenheim.
So here's Swanepoel.
Stay bound.
14 runs and just 5 kicks this season. Not a kicking halfback. And here's Heen. New Zealand Sevens, of course. Former Northland player. Has found a new home in the Tasman region. Good offload too from Joe Wheeler. And Squire
Release there.
on a good run and a good set for Swanepoel. They change direction. Cripps off to Shane Christie. And Hicker Elliott got most of him and has stayed down. Slow to his feet, Hicker Elliott, as Tasman come around the edge and now just caught 6 metres out. Wheeler plays halfback away to Cripps. And Cripps to Ainley. Coming off the wing again is Fonatia, who just wrapped around the Ainley pass. Ainley again, this time on a dive ball. James Lowe.
Yeah, mirrors onto it.
No space to work with.
Let it go, thanks.
Sets play 10 out, 5 in from touch. Counties Manukau have them up in a maul, but the ball pops out. Marshall, short ball. And we'll come back. It's a forward pass, so Tasman not quite getting their attack working at the moment, Jeff, but the intent is there.
Absolutely, they're looking to hold on to position. Of course, that part of the field. Good defensive stanza there from Counties, though. Got the positions nice and early. Got some line speed earlier on. They weren't competing at the breakdown, so you work on numbers on your feet. You get numbers on your feet, you have to come forward. It's the only way you're going to force the opposition into a mistake, and that is what they've done there. Of course, Marshall into a pass he wasn't quite ready to throw.
I'm definitely with you on that one, Jeff Wilson. I mean, good ball retention, good multiple phases by the Marcos. They're actually not committing anyone up front from Counties Manukau, and it's just this wall of 15 men across Ecolite Stadium here.
Crouch! Fine! Set!
It's a long bind on Tim Perry. He's almost bound on the man's shorts. Here goes Pulu again, short side run from the halfback. And his opposite tries to get over the ball. Pulu holding on. They'll concede the penalty here, Counties. Mark Swanepoel, big play on his opposite.
Great determination defensively to get back. Sometimes when you get a breakout like that, Pulu just running and continues to run, he actually isolates himself. Support runner on the outside overruns him, not in a position, and very quickly Swanepoel onto the ball.
Jeff, do you think in that situation when a halfback is running away from a support like that, that maybe the grubber kick downfield could have been the option?
Absolutely. I think the original option probably was to run and then kick, but he got so much space, he probably couldn't believe how much he got, and it's a matter of then you need to stay on your feet long enough. But you're right, there was plenty of space in behind that would have drawn the fullback forward. Instead now, Marty Banks gets an opportunity to maybe close it to 14 points to 9. And I mean, Tasman would have to be satisfied given the fact they've had limited attacking opportunities if they manage to close the gap to just 5 points.
Marty Banks 2 from 3. The miss led to the third. $15 in. And he starts that well right, and that's where it will stay. Taken,
Back there.
and a fair catch called for by Sherwin Stowers, so he will clear to touch, one would think. Took the longest angle too, and he's made the grade, so the line-out will form 5 short of the 22. Tasman to feed. Quentin McDonald still not missed a throw so far this season.
That was an old-fashioned spiral.
It was.
That was a pleasure to see.
They've coached that out of the game.
Had a crack at it. You're right,
Coached it
Quentin
out of the
McDonald,
game.
very good, very efficient player. And short line out for Tasman.
Again the lob. It's Joe Wheeler who gets up, and Swanepoel clears to Cripps. Cripps now. What on earth is going on here? Here's Marty Banks through again. Banks, one to beat for James Lowe. Can't do it, caught from behind. 5 out of Swanepoel. What a pass. Cripps, numbers, hundreds of them. Marshall away, and the try will be scored by Squire. What a move, Tasman.
He's going to have a look at something. Is Grant Stewart?
TMO, we just want to check possible obstruction from the line out, thanks.
Looking
We're checking that possible obstruction.
Looking for an obstruction
Thank you.
at line-out time, I think, on the switch play, the no-ruck switch play. As Marty Banks sliced through.
When was the last time you saw that?
I can tell you that, actually. Remember the French team from the late 80s, against the Baby Blacks, 86. Les Gabora was their number 10, and they used to do that switch play exactly the same as that. So Kieran Keane, yeah, he's been around a while. He knows this move.
As we see here, it goes in. Which sees those forwards there as they track through. He's looking for the fact. Watch all those forwards there. Oh, it's a nice try. It'll be interesting to see the interpretation here, because they have looked for that contact. They've looked for it, but has been well before the player has switched back.
Well, if you can't call Matt Todd last night Canterbury for obstruction, you can't call that obstruction.
It's Canterbury. I know where you're coming from. Have they, Camo, had enough time to adjust?
Yep, they really didn't influence the play. Here we go.
Sorry, checking. Yeah. So there's no clear and obvious obstruction.
Good call.
Therefore, we're awarding it. Is that correct? Right, thank you.
So Grant Stewart will award the try for Tasman. If you're going to run a Les Gabora France move from the 80s in the ITM Cup in 2013, you deserve a try.
I tell you what,
you deserve a try.
Well, I can see where the obstructions may have been caught, as we see the end of the try here. Just good execution, commitment, running lines, strength to get over the try line. But I think there's always that there was that intent to create some deception, but it was well before the ball ended up being in their area of the field. They had plenty of opportunity, Counties, and you have to, it's not innovation because we've seen it before. The fact they've brought it back, that's a thing of beauty.
We've only seen it before in the VHS. We haven't seen it before in the disc.
I'm golf clapping that. That's wonderful.
But I tell you what, when you've got a line out like the Marcos have, going at 100% this year, God, you must have some confidence when you're lining up as a back line.
Well, what is it they're doing so well, Camo?
Uncomplicated, Jeff, as we see this conversion in beautiful conditions.
Marty Banks this time, and no problem. 1 point ball game, 35 gone, 14 plays 13. Try to Liam Squire.
I'm not sure who's on the scoreboard, but they were confident the conversion was going on. They had the three up on the stand, the old scoreboard, classic 1-4, 1-3. It's beautiful, 14-13.
Asi Tuala. Here's Joe Wheeler. Takes this one into contact. And Swanepoel. Back for Cripps. Fonatia, again, straight into the tackle. And they knew it was coming. Hands over the ball. And Grant Stewart, no choice. Coming in over the top as a tackle assist and getting their hands on the ball. It was Cathcart, I think, the man.
Second man's in. First man got out.
You have to be in very quickly when something is predictable. And that is predictable. Every team of kickoffs looks at the opportunity to put it in the midfield, to try and find some space, to kick to off the next phase. If you don't get the support there quick enough, as we see here, he dummies, he straightens all of a sudden over the ball. Christie not in there. Whether or not he released, Camo, I'm not sure whether the tackle player was actually released, but Grant Stewart has not seen it that way.
I tell you what, though, Jeff, from both sides, the kickoff receipts have been poor this evening.
Here's Tuala. And Asi Tuala has gone from never kicking in an ITM Cup match to being 3 from 3. Not bad.
By kickoff receipts, we mean what County's just about to do now, receive the kickoff from the Marcos. They've dropped all three of them, about communication. And the Marcos are finding it hard to exit when they do eventually catch the ball. So good luck, Counties.
Well, there's a hint here that the Marcos, as Cripps kicks off, don't want to kick short to the Steelers team and give their counter-attack a chance. And that is a rod for your own back as Fonatier again takes on the line.
No! Leave it there, leave it
And again, a hint of isolation as McDonald clears to the blind side. Liam Squire, who's been their biggest ball carrier this season, averaging 50-plus metres in his 2 games so far. Cripps finds Wheeler again. So a midfield set this time. And they wrap back around. Marshall off to Shane Christie. Christie taken down by Lilo. Back for Swanepoel to Cripps. And they're peppering the line with ball runners here. Puafisi the man. And Swanepoel taken out. Now the penalty will come.
There's no effort.
Unnecessary from Counties there because they were dominant defensively. They were coming up very quickly. Yes, you want to push the boundaries, but not at the risk of giving away a penalty. And Camo there, they were set. They were getting up very quickly. Tasman were going nowhere. Of course, probably getting fatigued as the work they were doing. And they're just losing their feet, getting themselves in a position they could not change.
Both coaching staff, and in particular, we're going to get a chance to talk to the forward coach of Counties, Steve Jackson, and the break, about the forwards staying on their feet, because when they go multiple phases, the turnover ball, because everyone's lying down, once more, we're going to see it here. Counties going forward, so they win the contact right here. They don't need to do anything and just drive through.
It's such a difficult one for that tackle player, though, the tackler.
I feel a bit for Adam Cathcart.
Without a doubt, because they've won the contact, but that's the risk you run. You get on the wrong side, you turn, you get taken to ground. You have to do everything you possibly can, and he cannot roll towards the Tasman, the back of the breakdown. He has to go, as we call east-west, has to go sideways on the field. So he can't go backwards, so he's going to be in the way.
He's not operating in 4 dimensions, is he? It's pretty hard to do that.
Oh, it's difficult. There's no doubt about it.
You see what he was trying to do there? He was trying to hold the tackle player up.
Yep.
Wait for support to arrive, but as soon as that player went to ground, he had to get out of the way. By that stage, bodies everywhere. So Marty Banks with another chance to draw back within 1 point here. Gets plenty of it, does Banks, and the flags are up. On the 40-minute mark, Marty Banks has closed the gap. 17 plays 16. 2 tries to 1, the Steelers. Pulu and Aki in for them. Liam Squire with a hit back for the Tasman Marcos, and Banks adding the rest. Hayden Cripps has some fans in the stands, and let's head down to Ian Jones for some insight from the Tasman team.
Well, Joe, you find yourself a point behind. I mean, you're taking all your opportunities. How do you find it out there?
I don't know, we have actually, Jonesy. I think we've been a bit sloppy and just not finishing things off as we've been getting to that last couple of weeks. So if we can correct that, I think we'll be in for a good second half.
Sense a chance.
Yeah, I think so. We beat them up here last year, so we're always punching above our weight, mate. So we're coming out fighting in the second half.
Thanks very much, champ. Back to you, Scotty.
Thanks, Camo. Joe Wheeler, Poppy the Goat looks vaguely interested. And we'll take a break here on Sky Sport. The scoreline 17-16 to the Steelers. Be with you soon. Welcome back to Pukekohe. Some twerking going on. Puluaki, Tuala, the scorers for counties Manukau, Squire and Banks for the visiting side, the Marcos. They drew level at the halftime break. 17 plays 16. Two very good tries, well-constructed tries for counties Manukau to get us underway tonight. The first one, August Pulu off this line-out drive, and it was well done.
Oh, absolutely. Got set nice and early. Everyone in position got nice and deep on it. Meant that they could transfer the ball right to the back, and Pulu just recognises that they're getting close. Weighted numbers, like any good halfback, read the opportunity, keep the way on going forward, and just straight through the middle to the guts. A little bit of extra help at the end from the backs.
So you don't often see a halfback just go in there and steal the ball for the try.
Well, he plays a bit, but as you see here, once again, Pulu to Pulu, key in support. Fundamentals, though, reading the opportunities, recognising the space. Tasman just not clear on who's got who on the inside channel.
Christie just couldn't quite get across fast enough, and Cripps then got confused who he was marking. Here's Cripps in action here. How's the switch?
This is fantastic. Marty Banks running at pace and speed. James Lowe in support. Of course, they swarm to the breakdown, means numbers on the outside. Well structured because they didn't condense. Tasman kept their width. And then job done, and Squire in the right-hand corner.
Tell you what, if Tony Pulu had managed to stop that try, that would have been a heroic play. It was him on 8.
Yeah, I've seen it happen before. As you say, though, great execution from Tasman. They've hung in there, taken their opportunity. And if we look at the stats from the first half, very even on all fronts, really. The only place you look down there is the kicking meters. It's been territory possession, very, very similar. Breakdowns, penalties, turnovers, it's all the same. Both teams had very good lineouts, 100% both sides, 8 and 3, but the kicking meters, territory, Tasman prepared to put the ball long, but we haven't seen the back three of counties with any space to work with to counter-attack on.
Well, heading into the game, the plan was we'll go on the second kick. We won't run on the first kick, we'll kick it back to them, and that's reflected in those meters, about half of Tasman's. Second time they kick it to us, we'll go. So we saw a bit of that, but they just haven't had the opportunities they're looking for just yet.
Yeah, but Tasman don't want to kick it back to them that second time. They want to counter-attack themselves. So all of a sudden that goes out the door. I don't know, has Frank Hello played in this game?
He soon will, trust me. Stay with us, we'll take a short break on Sky Sport. When we come back, the final 40 from Pukekohe. Welcome back to Pukekohe. The Marco's running out here. Counties Manukau are waiting for them on the field. Let's head under the stands here with Steve Jackson and Ian Jones.
Well, Steve, only a point in it. What was the message for the second half?
We're just lacking a little bit of urgency and a little bit of ill discipline. Every time we get points, we let them back into the game with silly mistakes and silly penalties.
Having some trouble with the kick-off receipts. How are you going to fix that?
I don't know, put some glue in their hands or something, mate. But yeah, hopefully, mate, it's just a confidence thing. Hopefully this half we rectify that and become good.
Cheers, Jacko.
Steve Jackson, the forwards coach here for the Steelers, as Raymakers has a powwow, a change at hooker, with Michael Lear coming on to replace Hicker Elliott. So we'll check up on Hicker's condition. Very early replacement. He took that big knock earlier in the game. Underway in the second half. Up for this is Ainley. It slips through his mitts and picked up by Puafisi. Leads this competition in penalties conceded. Conceded 4 last week against Canterbury. Here's Marty Banks at first receiver. And Glua Matangi was there to offer his support. And Swanepoel, rear box kick from him. Straight to Fritz Lee. And that's a big knock on. Puafisi again has an extra helping. Probably not for the first time. Marshall away to Cripps. Cripps now cuts one to Shane Christie. Low. To roll into the tackle. Cripps with a wide ball now to Marshall. And Marshall across the face to Marty Banks. There is some space here for Tasman. That's forward. And Banks takes a big shot.
I think he heard the footsteps coming. He knew the threat was there, but they've done well to go side to side. They'd stretched the Counties defence, and that ball just dipping. Hands out, just takes a shot after he's let it go. Just a reminder what could be coming for him, but intent there, a little bit of a change of game plan. They've been hitting in the midfield, then switching back. A little bit of wide, try and stretch the Counties defence out, maybe create some holes in the midfield. Taking the opportunity here for the Counties side. It'd be nice to see them maybe look to the width. Got a pretty good guy on the right wing who'd like to see some ball, I'm sure.
Tony Pulu's come off his wing. He'll be stationed just on the inside of Asi Tuala, who looks ready for action. We'll get a word on Hicker Elliott from Ian Jones in just a moment. And we'll reset that scrum.
And I'll take my turn now. Yep, Hicker Elliott, a direct result to the head knock he got late in the first half. Seeing some stars, that's certainly out in the sky. So as a precaution, he is off and off for the rest of the match.
Camo, I spoke to Lyndon Bray last weekend before the test match, and he talked about one of the issues they're having is this putting the ball into the scrum, making sure it's really clear that it's down the middle. And I'm not to see in the second half whether or not the hookers are being forced to actually strike it. Seems as though halfbacks have got comfortable with the fact they're just starting to maybe look at a slight angle.
Well, it's hard to find the middle sometimes when they're wheeling it like they are. That certainly wasn't in the middle.
Oh, he's just put a bit of a leg break on that. And coming around, just trying to get some feet on that ball. That was a clever play from Joe Wheeler until Grant Stewart saw it. And now a bit of a dust-up. Alex Ainley and Adam Cathcart having words.
It was actually a little bit of an off-spinner. A leg break
Sorry,
would go
it was.
the other way.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Well, you're the cricketer, champ.
Yeah, but I just sense there that they're being a little bit more lenient. Should have just gone under, but as it's wheeled, good pressure.
Well, Jeff, there has to be some advantage to the team that is putting the ball in.
Absolutely.
Because there's the other team that infringed. Now got a Counties Manukau line out. Looks like they're going to go full numbers. And they haven't done a line out. Well, they've done a couple of successful line out drives, but the last one wasn't successful because the ball was in the air too long. They get from A to B quicker.
So the throw from Leah and taken down by Tupou. They'll set the drive again. This has been effective for them. Both tries have come from a drive. First one, a rolling ball right to the line where Pulu took the ball out the back and flopped over. The second, with Tony Pulu off his wing, setting up Bundy Aki. The ball is still there, but they'll need to use it. They do now. Pulu look to free the arms for the offload. It's there for Raymakers. And Big Ronnie gets within 2. Driving over the line is Sam Iono. Can he get the ball down? They'll have a look at this. Grant Stewart is on hands and knees. And he'll go upstairs. I'm not entirely sure anyone has a better view of that than Grant Stewart.
I think it's Quinton McDonald.
TMO. Glenn, try or no try, thanks. I haven't. Thank you. I haven't seen a grounding or anything. So.
Hasn't seen a grounding from his point of view. So it's a matter now whether or not Quinton McDonald has managed to keep his hands underneath the player. They got set very early once again in the drive, put the pressure on as we see here, fighting to try and get to ground.
I think you're right. I think Quinton did get his hands around that ball. Sam Iono did not look confident there, did he?
No, I think he's done a great job, as you'll see here. Counties players have, he's got the ball
He's
up
ripped the
there.
ball away.
He's ripped it away. He probably won't want that because he's taken back.
Well, yes, that's right. Well, that's an interesting ruling. Now, what is the ruling here? Was that over the line when he got the ball? If so, it'll be held up. 5-metre scrum.
Either way. Once again, though, at the line-out time, they got their drive nice and set. And we saw in the first half, they got under pressure. The Tasman defence, when they wheeled away and peeled away with Pulu. So we get a decision here.
Well, you know, if that was a try, Puafisi would have been double fist pumping straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Held up. Scrum 5.
Certainly doesn't relieve the pressure, though. Counties another opportunity from close in. Pulu, such a dangerous running threat. A key. Runs great lines and angles, looking for spaces and holes. Tony Pulu on the left wing. And of course, you've got a giant of a man at first 5'8". I see Tuiala. He's probably won in about 100 kicks.
I'm calling Puafisi on that, by the way. He's playing for Tasman.
Yes, 9.
Fritz Lee loses control of the ball, so that one is kicked into touch. Grant Stewart now finds the penalty, standing up.
Great time now for Counties Manukau in that drive. Very successful last time because they're getting the jump to the ground quicker. This is how it came about.
You sense the forward pack of Counties feel as though they've got a domination here. They see there's an opportunity with a line-out drive. Their line-out's been very accurate when they get set. They are so difficult. The fact that the drive itself...
Well, Jeff, the two differences has been, what we've seen some contrasting line-out drives in Counties. If you get the player down very quick, then you can dominate going forward. If he's held up in the air, if it's a lob throw, then clearly the opposition have the advantage to set, push them off and be more aggressive.
Well, Tasman are in two minds at times as well, because you have to keep a forward off to cover the open side and the blind side, and then all of a sudden it's 8v6. And if you don't disrupt it, if you put guys in, that allows space for Pulu to run.
Sam Iono there at the front of the line-out. He was the man who, of course, dived over for that try. They'll set the drive now. Puafisi off the field, replaced by Nuka.
Leave his legs, thanks.
Raymakers in a fight with Ainley, and Ainley wins. Ainley will set the play now for Tasman, and Fritz Lee tried to get another crack at it. Will have to leave it under referee instruction, and Marshall can clear for touch. So Tasman survived the onslaught. Pulu with a chance to get things underway, but the chase line is good.
Oh, superb work from Alex Ainley. He got in very quickly, got in through a seam, through the middle of the maul, and then just worked. He didn't get pushed to the side. He got his hands on the ball, and he refused to release.
Throw's good.
Throw good from Leah, taken down by Cathcart. Now RC Tuala finds Lee. Good, solid running again from the skipper. Pull it. Raymakers on a short ball. Up towards the 22, so still defending grimly here, Tasman. Nuka with the tackle, fresh on the field.
Use it now.
Arki popped it up for Cathcart. Too high in contact. Perry had him all on, ends up. Still managed to set. Good meters again from Fritz Lee. And unfortunately, his support players taking out the defenders.
Taking the man out in front of the ball.
12 white.
Thanks, Simon.
Andiaki taking the man out
the man in front.
of the ball.
Great play from the skipper though, Fritz Lee, leading by example, just trying to get something going, isn't he? Jeff through the middle, pick up the ball, follow me type skipper.
Well, there's opportunities through the middle. I've seen that at times, but it's about being accurate when you're doing that, getting numbers and support. There's no point going on your own because you will get isolated and you're forced to make an error. But once again, we have seen very little of Frank Hellai in this matchup. 47 minutes in, he is so dangerous with ball in hand. Find a way to get him into the game.
Joe Wheeler, prominent at line-out time this week. It's been Ainley and Squire for the last 2 games. Marshall, pass away to Kalua Matangi, and he is just shepherded towards the touchline by Ray Lilo. Cripps across to Ainley, and Ainley winds up. Swanepoel, Cripps, and Cripps this time with a change of tactic. Pulu back, calls for the fair catch, and the fair catch is given.
Jeff, you asked in the first half about the Tasman line-out that's, as we said, running at 100% this year. We may get an opportunity if counties kick this ball out, which we will, to look and examine once more this Tasman line-out and how simple it is. Very little foot movement from the locks. It's just the ball flight and a different speed of Quinton McDonald. And this is just a peach. This guy, the trajectory, the speed of his throw, the arc, great example for all to watch.
Bring close. Joey, bring close. Bring close.
And I hope I haven't put the mockers on him.
Well, he's called for a recall, so he's confident about where he wants this ball. Goes to the back. Squire the man. Swanepoel. Good ball for Christie to work with. They try to get on the jackal. Can't do it. So just outside the 22, Swanepoel again. Ball went behind Fonatia, and Fonatia went behind the defensive line. Fonatia on a great carry. 5 out from the county's line. Tasman with a charge. James Lowe just caught short, can't put the ball down. Swanepoel with options, too many. Cripps with a kick through to chase. Here's a chance, and the ball beats him.
How did James Lowe not score? Getting so close to the line. Great desperation from counties.
We just hit the ground with
We couldn't quite hear the assistant referee.
I have a feeling it's a deluge way.
No, it's gone dead. Pretty simple, gone over the dead ball line there. The option was right, just the weight of the kick.
Yeah.
Look at that. Surprised if you need another look, he does.
Dead ball, I would say.
Dead ball.
Well, in some ways, it was a good chase from Liam Squire, who got there in the first place. But imagine if that was a Bryce Heem, he may well have got there before the dead ball took it.
Absolutely, but James Lowe right in the heart of the action.
Wait for TMO.
Fonatia, he's having another look.
You can't award that, sure.
There's no certainties in sport.
So we've got a mark if we have to go back for this scrum. Simon?
Glenn Blackwell having a good look at it, as he should.
Yes. So our restart options are 22 or scrum. Thank you, 22.
So Counties Manukau survived that onslaught. James Lowe with a great run. Fonatia, first of all, setting it up.
Just
had to turn and take the pass, and then straight through the line, Kieran Fonatia banks. Here's Heem. And Heem decides to have a crack at them. Slips into the tackle, just short of the halfway line. Come back on the right-hand side, Marshall. Straight through a gap, Marshall still going. Got his ball away on the inside and then dropped, so Counties Manukau will have the scrum. Tasman are starting to stretch the legs here.
Well, you get the feeling that the The ball's been in play a lot. There's been a lot of footy play tonight, and counties are just starting to tire on some of those inside channels defensively. Tom Marshall finding some space. We know how good he was for the Crusaders. He slipped into the midfield tonight, and he has missed a fix-it for them. Carries the ball strongly. Ball in two hands, like we talked about earlier. Camo, he's a threat every time he has the ball. He can create space. He can find spaces to run through. He can put other people into holes. You sense that maybe they're starting to really believe they can pick up the result they're looking for tonight.
Well, Jeff, he's a classic star player, isn't he? The movement 12, gets his hands on the ball more often than not. When that happens, he creates.
Set! It's 9.
Pulu feeds.
Stay there.
Scrum twists.
Thank you.
And Pulu finds his man. This time it's Tony Pulu. Good carry from the left wing. Gets in behind the line. Now plenty of time for Tuala, who casually drops that onto the toe. Banks ran outside his 22.
6.
And now the counter-attack is on. Flat ball, bad ball.
Our sub stinks, 8 blue, 5 white. 5 white.
Gary Redmond's going on. He'll go to the number 8 position for Tasman Marcos, and a proud moment too for the Bombay club. Johnny Kawa on debut. He's going on there replacing Jimmy Tupou in the locking jersey for the County Steelers.
Johnny Kawa, formerly with the Auckland University Club, came across, joined Bombay. More a 6 than a lock, but good coverage for them. Brian Wilson out of the 22 this week.
The more this game goes on, the more pressure goes on Asituala at first 5-8, because it's a matter of this game is going to be a close matchup at this stage. So he has to drive his team around the park, make the right options.
Set!
Having not played first 5, the pressure is well and truly on him.
Well, he has that laconic style, Asituala. It works for him most of the time, but when you've got a play like that, options are open on counter-attack. Just the casualness with which he threw that ball in field to August Pulu. Those are the sort of moments that a first 5 has to stand up and be on guard, be alert, make sure that they stick.
Absolutely. Fundamentals of the game, and when you're trying to run a match and it's getting a feeling for the game and what sort of match have we got, as we see, I think there's a little bit of blood. Tony Pulu was taking a little bit of headshot, so they're going to do maybe the concussion testing to make sure he's okay, which is a real positive thing for the game. Huge attacking opportunity here for Tasman as well. As you say, last year they racked up 51 against counties early on in the competition. So the late inclusion into the game, Camo makes his entrance, and he'll probably slip into first 5. Is that right?
Kia Nufu, yeah, this is a concussion test. So going up the tunnel here. Well, it might be first 5-8, but boy, I tell you what, the program says there's 100 kgs.
I can tell you what, if he can get up,
first 5-8.
if he can get up that tunnel on his 21s, I think he's passed the concussion test.
Backs don't wear 21s, G. It was only the 8 forwards that come down, steaming down the tunnel.
Fine!
Oh, while we wait for the scrum to pack too, I know this broadcast will be taken around the rugby world, and for those viewers in Wales, the loss of Cliff Morgan will be keenly felt by, I know, Welsh rugby fans, but world rugby fans. And with Cliff's passing, one of the great voices of our game has been lost. Condolences to his family and all who knew him. Play continues. Squire on a big run. Up inside the 22. Tasman now starting to put the blowtorch on this county's defensive line. Knocked down but knocked back by August Pulu. Penalty advantage though applies for Tasman. Can counties withstand this attack? The assistant referee is on the mic.
Lost forward there, knocked down here.
Well, he's allowed to knock that down backwards.
Knocked down.
He's allowed to knock it down backwards. There's nowhere in the law book of rugby union that says a man cannot knock the ball backwards. Nowhere.
Big decision from Tasman, this. Opportunity to kick for goal, to get in front. They believe they have the momentum. They have everything on their side right now. They are here. They've worked hard to get field position. Can they make the most of this opportunity? A line-out drive set nice and early here. Their line-out has been very effective.
Wait here, wait.
Oh, Joe Wheeler. The body is not meant to bend back like that.
He's up. Leave it. 3 white.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm pretty hard on this. You penalise a guy who chases a kick,
7,
contested in the air, knocks a guy
7,
out or flips a guy
7,
over, and you put him in the bin. That's just as dangerous for me, Camo, when you go underneath a jumping player in a line-out and you force him to come down on anywhere near on his back and his head.
The rules of our game protect the player in the air.
Jared Firth there, I mean, that is cynical, that is dangerous play.
And that's why when you're catching a high ball, you go up early, so you're protected. In a line-out time, you've got to have that same protection. The Marcos, though, they've gone for a scrum, and all of their backs are out on this right-hand side. Just a quick update, Tony Pulu didn't pass the concussion test, and he's off for the remainder of the game.
bind, set, yes, 9, bound.
Swanee pull. That is a big scrum from Tasman, and now they bulldoze their way up. Christie off the back. That is simple. Simple stuff. Shane Christie deserves one. Tasman hit the front for the first time since Marty Banks kicked the first penalty of the game.
Well, who would have thought they would have backed their scrum? Tim Perry, Professi, McDonald up front. You see here, just set, keeps working. The flankers, the loose forwards come off. As we see there, Vaipulu, he slips over, trips over his own man. And Christie with his acceleration. Good hands at the back, Camo. Pressure now, back on Counties.
Well, a lot of forwards, tight forwards, Jeff will say, well, Vaipulu, you weren't doing your job and helping it at scrum time and tripping over. Well, that's just the way it is. But the man from the Nelson Rugby Club, our oldest club in this country, the skipper, Christie, that's a great try. Puts him in front. Conditions once more are perfect here at ground level. Wind, the dew, not an influence whatsoever on this kick.
Banks, too easy. Marty Banks kicks two more, 23 plays 17. And Shane Christie, easy. There's been some big tries scored against number 7s tonight. 7's not quite getting out and making their tackle, and Shane Christie won't score an easier try this year.
There's a player who's thinking him down to the Highlanders, if I'm not mistaken.
They'll take him. Haney.
Stay here.
I think he's a player who deserves a chance at Super Rugby.
On.
And a regular chance.
Agree.
Fornatia. You know what you get with Kieran.
Oh, no.
And he gives Marty Banks some time on a good set. And Banks over the top of Fritz Lee, who just ran too far.
Happy, John.
He turns and throws in field. Stouts trying to beat one, can't do it. 10-metre line inside Counties half as they now look down the barrel of a 6-point deficit.
6.
Kia Anufe. And Anufe's kick is swallowed up by James Lowe, leading the competition this year in terms of line breaks. Third in defenders beaten and fifth in metres made this season.
Release.
2 games in. 3 tries to his name as well, and the penalty this time against Tasman.
So difficult when you're an assist tackler. You get your hands on the ball. You think you're contesting possession. Player goes to ground, all of a sudden he's tackled, and your instinct is to not release the player, of course, because you got your hands on the ball. You're thinking, I'm trying to claim it, to then give that possession away. And Anufe comes on. Tuala just wanders over to the wing, says, no, I'm good. I've got, is he 100% tonight?
Done his job.
I've done my job.
He's 100.
Yeah, this is not my sort of range. I'm not ruining my perfect record.
It's unfair.
Wow.
It's unfair on Asi Tuala.
Well, he struck them beautifully tonight.
It's a change of thinking, though, isn't it, lads? When the Counties Manukau's line-out drives and going so well, a percentage play, this is going to be a tough kick. We wish him well. But goalie, as you know, this game is very much about the percentages.
Kia Nufe too at South Africa with Manu Samoa in June, and that's probably why. Good kick from Anufe.
Great
And
decision by Tuala. Great decision by Tuala. That's why you give that responsibility there. But you think they were trying to stem the flow. The momentum had shifted to the Tasman side. Now counties get back into their work. They need to secure the kickoff. Stephen Jackson talked about it briefly at halftime with Camo. Glue on the hands. I don't think that's going to work. It's a matter here. Get up nice and early. Nice and early call. Claim the possession.
So the kickoff made, coming forward was Kawo and Raymakers, and again it's confusion. What is that? 4 kickoffs lost by Counties Manukau. Now we'll have a scrap, and that will calm down. Tim Perry will back off.
John, anything in this?
I think we might have called that 5, Scotty, but I'll tell you what happened there, because it's right in front of me at ground level. It's just the Counties players not picking up the flight to the drop kick quick enough, get themselves into a steady position to up and contest it. Should have been back half a metre, up early. Ball's in your hands.
Oh, Johnny Kawo getting an introduction to ITM Cup Rugby from Tim Perry. That's
he threw a half a wee elbow, and Perry just took a little bit of exception, and nothing in that.
Well, it was Kawo's ball, I think, all along. You could see him setting up for it, and Ronnie called the lift. And went straight through the hands. Ended up in Kawo's breadbasket, and he couldn't hold on.
Yes, 9.
Lucky to have the scrum.
No, 7, get at it.
And
7, you're fine.
this time Mama Vaipulu
You're on their prop.
slipping the bind.
Well, you'll see this
On their prop.
right in front of the referee. What he's done there.
He hasn't slipped the bind, he's bound on a prop.
Yeah, well, no, what he's done is he's slipped up, and then he's ended up pushing on the opposition prop on Perry. So they've gone over the 4-man front row. It's been difficult to see here. But on the far side, you watch him go up there, and he's gone up to the other prop. He's worked out Tim Perry's giving them all the problems on that tight-head side.
A tough night for Jared Firth.
Yeah, to be fair, absolutely.
Well, I've got to say that, guys, that Jared Firth must be a very nice guy. Surely he's got his right to turn around and give his open side of flanker a right old blast. But no, he doesn't. He just gets on with it.
He's a quiet man, Camo.
Well, he must be, from the Ardmore Mariners Club, the champions here in Counties Manukau. But I know a few tight head props around this country from a long time ago that wouldn't allow that to happen.
I know one in particular.
Once again,
he picked on everyone.
It stemmed from the kickoff. You earn the points. You want to try and get back into the flow of the game, get territory, force the opposition to make the play. This has just given Marty Banks an opportunity to push this lead back out and wrest back some of that momentum.
Final quarter of the match, Marty Banks now to give Tasman that 6-point lead once more. It looks pretty good from here. Looks pretty good down there. Flags are up, 6 points the difference. And you don't want to get yourself into a situation, if you're the Steelers, allowing Tasman to accumulate points on you.
Absolutely. And Marty Banks has been a valuable addition to this Manukau side. Remembering he didn't play last week. He's come in as Tom Marshall's had to move forward. Done a very nice job at the back.
More forward, John.
16 points
Lost forward, then lost forward.
for Marty Banks tonight. That's not a bad debut.
Well, the one thing counties have been known to do, though, is that they've been known to come home very quickly, aren't they? There's a couple of changes been made here, Camo, maybe to give them a little bit of impact, but they have been known to finish games strongly as teams tend to get tired. With their attacking ability, they can punish you.
Simon Lamalu, jersey 17 from Waiuku. He's a nice man, but he won't let Vaipulu not push on his outside buttock, of course. And Sam Reedy from Petamahoe, he's on there. Adam Cathcart, jersey 6, is the man who's come off.
Very deep backline set for counties. I can't even... Sherwin Stowers is miles behind the line.
Yes, 9.
Possibly a midfield hit, then a switch.
Pulu on the 8-9 plate, and this one goes behind. Tuala has to clean up. Fritz Lee is there on his shoulder, so they have possession. And that's gone backwards, then forwards off Kawo. It's not happening for Counties Manukau, chasing this game down.
And it starts at the set piece. It starts doing the work up front. Tim Perry has been impressive for me tonight, Camo. In terms he has worked very hard. He has turned that scrum at will. And every time he's turned, they haven't just wheeled. What they've done is they've turned and then put pressure on. And has forced the back of the scrum of the Counties team to look disorganised and not be able to get momentum. starts in the set piece opportunity and now presents a midfield scrum. I would suspect they'll be looking to play this game in the right end of the park. Maybe an 8-9 going right. Swanepoel punching the ball down to the right-hand corner. They've got Cripps off his left foot, maybe to do the same off the left-hand side.
Cripps and Marshall are in conference at the moment. Out to the left-hand side of this scrum. They look to be setting up for the play. Swanepoel, as we mentioned, not much of a kicker, but Jeff Wilson calls it right first time. This one goes deep behind Sherwin Stowers. 5 out from his line. He'll kick to touch. That's wobbly.
And that's why you do it, because Sherwin Stowers is not a renowned fullback. He is a great counter-attacker. He plays a lot of sevens. He's not a familiar kicker of the ball. There's no doubt you get the ball in behind him. He has pressured net gain of, what, 40 metres almost, Camo, and now this Tasman team can get into its work.
And they can do that knowing that they're going to win this line-out ball. It's just a remarkable record so far in the 2013 season. But already the back's getting excited they're going to get it.
Ainley again the man, and he does tap it back, but it's messy for Swanepoel, so he'll have to take some contact. Sean Reedy came through hard on him. Ball is there. Joe Wheeler now calling the play. Christie, the captain.
Play, stripped out,
and the ball is stripped in the tackle of Vaipulu. Come back again. So that is stripped out, no knock on. The call, that's a knock on. Here's Heem. Heem with the offload to Quinton McDonald. And McDonald too with an offload. Adds another to his tally for this season. That's number 6. Marshall off the deck away to Christie. Oh, that's fabulous. Fonatier in for a try. And the offload play again working for Tasman.
Grant Stewart's going to look at something here. Let's just wait and see. Have a listen.
Timo. We want to check for a possible forward pass, but also check the play as well. Thanks for that.
Check the play. I'm not sure what he's asking for there.
Check everything.
Check everything. Go back. And it started from
the 2 phases beforehand.
an interpretation around the strip position. Because a lot of teams will say that that's it. A lot of referees will go knock on. In fact, when the player has got his hands on it, we'll see here.
Just before that was the first strip.
So they've chosen not to go back.
Now that's game off.
That's game on.
Manukau.
Absolutely for my vision here. And then the ability to keep the ball alive. And what it is all of the defences attracted to the ball, and they've just kept their width. Look at the numbers. Marshall once again keeping it straight. Keep the ball alive. Throw the pass.
First glance, you'd give that, wouldn't you?
Last pass they're probably looking at simply because he's turned his back on the play and let it go.
So the Shane Christie pass for you, the one in doubt here?
I think so. It looks as though, but I think because of the fact he's actually turned his back, it may look worse. For me, hard to tell at first instinct. I'm thinking try Camo.
I'm hovering over the TMO goalie. No influence whatsoever. He's stealing my monitor.
You're casting a big shadow.
I tell you what, he's spending a lot of time around me today.
So here's the thing. He's released that about 1.5 meters from the line. It's 1.5 meters. Very difficult for me to make a decision
Have a look
coming.
where Shane Christie's feet were when he passed that ball, and the man took the pass behind where Shane Christie was.
So there's no clear and obvious infringement, so awarding the try. Thank you.
Big moment in the game. Kieran Fonatier on the end of some fabulous play from Tasman. They came into this game out of last week with 7 of their players in the top 25 in offloads, 6 in the top 25 in line breaks. That is an offload try, not a single ruck in sight, and that's how it's done.
Well, you get players in behind the ball, and they work hard to stay in the play, to be an option, and they look for the offload. They keep players in good support, as we see it there, the finish. But that is reward for players staying alive in the game and looking for that support. It goes back, once again, they secured the position, but Swanepoel being very strong under all sorts of pressure, holding on to the ball.
But he won't get a chant going up. I wouldn't bet against him. 4 in from touch. Marty Banks looking to add to his 16 points. Oh, he's done well. Marty Banks. That's a top-class nudge from the sideline. And Tasman Marco, should I say, stretch out. 33 points to 20 with 14 remaining. Shane Christie springing the step now. Well, until he ran into Carwo.
Say. Wait, no.
Cleared away by
1,
Banks.
2.
Fritz Lee will want to get on with it. He does just that. Stowers. And here is Frankie Hallo finally. Took 2 to get him down, but get him down they did. Just short of the Tasman 10-metre line. And they'll set up again. 6 in from touch. August Pulu. Finds some width now. Counties. Again, the passing not great. And here's Semi Aiono. Up over the halfway line. Clever play from Simon Lamalu. Short side, Raymakers. Raymakers stretches out in the tackle. Aiono again on his second carry of the phase play. Pulu.
Number.
Kia Nufet.
Advantage. Penalty advantage.
A penalty advantage now as Fritz Lee takes another carry. Tasman having to defend, and now Counties Manukau can put some real pressure on.
4 and 7. Side.
Once again, unnecessary because their system was so good and strong. Once they got deep into the number of phases, they were still in good positions, willing in the defensive line, organised in where they're going, and as we see them go for touch, field position is key. They don't give that away to this county side because their line-out drive is good, puts them under pressure. Very early, you can't shut this game down right now. You need to get out of your own territory. You still need to get some ball. Plenty of time left on the clock, Carmo.
Sorry, County's gone for a full line out here, so once again they might try to drive it, get some yards, but they just need a spark, don't they? They've got to be excited now. Counties with 12 to go.
Interesting for me, they kicked to Frank Hallo's side of the field. He's got to be in this move. But they won't win the line out, so it's a moot point. Joe Wheeler now has the ball in possession, and an advantage applies for Tasman. Swanee pull away to Cripps, 2 passes. Now they'll look to clear. They do just that. That's a thumping punt.
That's massive.
Wow.
That is massive.
Stowers now back in his 22. Outside the 22, and he puts up a bomb. Easy pickings. Hallo gets his man right on the halfway line. Swanee pull has a dig. He'll set the ball. Good support coming in from Halanuka. Low. Marshall with one over the top. And this one will bounce awkwardly for Stowers. Stowers gets hit in the tackle. Marshall following up his own kick. The ball is still there for the Steelers. Bundyaki fends off Banks, finds Lilo. Lilo drops it. It's imploding here.
Well, they're chasing the game now. They have to. They've got to keep playing, and you see them forcing. They're expecting to be able to find space on turnovers. The ability of Tom Marshall. They have plenty of kicking options with Hayden Cripps. You've got Marty Banks. They're reading the play very, very well. That nice deft kick in behind and chases the kick. Put the pressure on Stowers. They've recognised the fact that at 33-20, the pressure is now on Counties to play. So they will actually have their defensive line nice and flat. They won't keep men back. They'll say, yep, you run it. You run it at us. You keep going. We'll get up and we will tackle. As we see here.
Well, Jeff, what I'm sensing sideline down here from Counties Manukau, you're dead right, they are chasing the game, but what happens then is it becomes 15 individuals out there trying to win the game. So the message has got to come very strong from Tana Umaga, Steve Jackson, the coaching box, stick to the game plans, get some spark, ignite, but do it as a team, do it together, actually working together.
We're doing subs, right?
Because the further it gets away, the more it become individuals.
It's interesting to look at Aki and Lilo. Last year, their combination here was near flawless. They've both been away to different Super Rugby franchises. 3 games into the season. I just feel that combination at the moment is not where it was 12 months ago.
Well, difficult right before the game, or today, you lose Baden Kerr, who's been a big part of this franchise, a big part of this team here. They've driven this team. All of a sudden, you're playing Asi Tuiala for the first time, probably first 5'8", in a high-pressure situation. And now you've got Anufe coming in with very little preparation, I am sure. So that was always going to be difficult. But you're right, they haven't looked in sync. And the pressure now is well and truly on them with a great attacking opportunity once again for Tasman. And they've fundamentally been very, very strong.
Bind! Set! it! Yes, 9, let's go.
This one goes down and then pops back up. That's some good strength shown by Nuka. Cribs, bodies in motion everywhere. Fonatia again. Swanepoel hits the ball out as far as Kavambati. Christie, pass, quick hands, Marshall. Tried to bisect the defensive line. It was Halai and Lilo. Numbers wide now for Tasman. And Kavambati again.
No, 17.
Takes a hit up. It's there. Swanepoel changes back to the blind side. Marshall gets hit hard, but Halanuka got the pass. Quentin McDonald, 5 short of the line, and Tasman now again applying real pressure to this county's defensive setup. Ball is there for Swanepoel. What's he got on his leg?
Use it.
Kavambati on his 3rd hit up.
Use it!
Perry tries a dig around the short side. Again, Swanepoel happy just to bark instructions well behind the breakdown. He'll rely on the big boys. Redmond wants a crack. He takes one. And he too is put down 5 short. Kavambati again. McDonald, Swanepoel. Now Marshall. And Marshall accelerated to the line. Bundyaki across him, and the knock-on finally came. Well defended, Counties Manukau.
Absolutely, but I think they knew what was at stake. They couldn't afford to give away a penalty. So you see here, good line speed, getting up very quickly. Good step, and then Aki just gets his hand on the ball and man at the same time, forces the error. But Counties recognised they couldn't afford to give away a penalty because that would take it out to past the 14-point barrier. So all of a sudden they had to be disciplined on defence. They did that, did the work around the fringes, but Tasman just so accurate, getting good numbers to the ball. And it's almost like they've got that belief now.
Quickly tidy up some reserves changes down here. Jeff Kavambati, you've already mentioned. Joe Wheeler, the big smiling 2-metre tall lock forwards off. Hansey you see on there. He'll bring a spark, of course, for the Counties Manukau team. Quinton McDonald, hasn't been a joy to watch his line-out throwing here tonight. Outstanding. He's off as well. Francis Smith in his position. Also Sam Vaikar from the Bombay club also is out there. He's replacing Razor Ray Lilo.
Just watch the left-hand side of this scrum, and Perry will put all sorts of pressure. Just twist it slightly towards the touchline, I would say.
Yes, 9. Ball's out.
You picked it. It happened.
That is scrumming at its very best. Perry has had that side all to himself tonight, Camo, and they're using it as a weapon. You can win matches on the back of a scrum, and they are doing it for me tonight. Watch the second shove.
Yeah, the key to Perry tonight is that second, the push. He's chasing his feet. So when he's engaging, his feet aren't just staying planted. They're moving in little steps going forward. The pressure's coming on from behind. Of course, the lock forward's clearly doing a brilliant job behind him.
Of course.
They're working in tandem.
Like any good lock, you'd say that, Camo. You did all of that work in behind.
The only issue here, Perry, he's so dominant on that side of the scrum that there's every chance that this Tasman scrum can get penalised for walking around. Well, that's the big issue.
The big thing when they turn, though, they keep going forward. They keep pushing forward, and he's standing up because he's dominating.
Set. Yes, 9.
Again, Perry putting the weight on. Again, he's twisted the scrum.
Go, get out.
And Christie operating at number 8. Swanepoel thought he might have a dart round the blind side. It wasn't to be. They'll set again 5 in from touch. Frankie Smith wants to get hand on the ball, and he does just that. Draws in a couple of defenders and sets play. Halanuka with a good header. They're not big meters, but they're tough meters.
Supporting players have to be careful not to seal off the ball, have to stay on their feet.
Again, just drives around the fringes, holding County's big forwards in the defensive setup. And now they'll look to operate with a bit more width, and the ball has been stolen, illegally so, says Grant Stewart. Vaipulu is blowing up.
That instinct when you're on the ball to not let it go. And Vaipulu tonight has had a couple of things go against him, which have been at key points of the game. And fascinating, they've decided to take a scrum. You kick a penalty there, the game is over. They've decided what? This is bonus point time? That's how confident they are. That's how confident this team are, that they are dominant up front. They believe they can get a platform to get a bonus point at this early stage in the season.
In fairness, they've just tooled up the county scrum.
Without a doubt.
Terry's having a field day.
This is where, if I'm the coach, I'm thinking, get out there, get that tee out there, soak up a little bit of time, put there through there, it's game over.
I think 4.5 minutes to go. I think even Kieran Kane, who, you know, let's be honest, has a grumpy face.
Look at him.
He's even thinking the job's done here, surely.
Yeah, surely? Alama Ramia's not ringing him, is he? Saying the deal's done? I can tell you what, I mean, this has been a dominant display from this Tasman side. If they can cap it off here with a bonus point try, as the crowd start to realise themselves that they've had enough, if they can cap it off with a bonus point, what a victory for them.
They led at the 14-minute mark. They hit the front again in the second half. The kick through from Hayden Cripps for Marshall! Oh, it's special! What a play, Hayden Cripps and Tom Marshall. Gee, we've seen some clever footy from Tasman tonight.
What can you say about execution, understanding system, recognising where the space is, and seeing their role, understanding their role? Very slow from Shu and Stowers on the jump. You'll see him try and get into pictures here, but he is nowhere near this. Frank Halley isn't in a position. You have to read this play. They're taking it right to the line. Nice touch on it. And that man, Tom Marshall. Fonatia probably thought he was in. Stolen away from Camo.
Shu and Stowers defending on the left-hand side from that scrum. Clearly out of position. Marshall would have called that communication outstanding. The way to the kick, even better. And that is a full stop on this match. The Manukau is going to walk away here, and it's going to be a happy hunting ground for these guys. Of course, they won here 28-19 last year.
7 from 9 tonight, Marty Banks.
Have a debut.
Have a debut.
Have a debut. This for 20 points for Marty Banks on debut.
This guy here, the Chiefs, what a pickup for the Chiefs for next season. How did the Crusaders let that go? How smart and how good has he been?
Here's Banks. And he adds 2 more. Marty Banks caps off a pretty good night. Tom Marshall with a special. What have we seen tonight from Tasman? We've seen one off the back of a scrum. We've seen Liam Squire off a million offloads. We've seen Fonatia break the line and set up a try. And we've seen a no-ruck switch. Now we've seen a chip through for Marshall. I tell you what, it's entertaining. Kia Nufe. 2 minutes on the clock, 40-20 the scoreline. Speaking of 40-20, the Warriors' last game at home this season. Be sure to check that out against the Canberra Raiders. 16. Fritz Lee gets on with the job. And Fritz Lee gets the ball back. Well, it is the second big score that Counties Manukau have conceded at home to start the season. 55 against Wellington, now 40 against Tasman. Life in the Premiership. It's proving difficult, right over the top, and penalty against Counties Manukau. That is just clever stuff in the 79th minute of a game.
And that's recognition of the fact that what Counties are going to do, they're going to keep the ball in hand. They have to. There's no point. They're just playing. They're chasing the game. There's 2 minutes to go. So what you do is you don't put anyone back. You put one guy back there and say, look, you run at us. We're going to keep coming forward. Once again, that meant Tom Marshall reading the play, his anticipation of what's going on. This is impressive, Camo, and this just proves the gap between this championship and premiership competition is not that great. This Counties Manukau side is looking to do big things in the premiership this season. Tasman looking as strong as they did in the early part of last year.
In goalie, another man involved in that tackle, jersey 21, Billy Guyton. Played heart-and rugby for North Otago last year, so here's a man making his way up into the grades. Fantastic, just like Marty Banks. Of course, with Buller winning the Lahore Cup with that fine union.
Billy Guyton's been around. Oh, good night too for Hayden Cripps. Just operating well, making the play, passing when he needed to pass and kicking when he needed to kick. Gavin Barty gets the ball down and Redmond has the back. Now the Marcos. Can they add a cherry on top here? And they can't at this stage. Ball is taken away by Sean Reedy, so the Steelers looking for one last chance. The hooter will go at the 80-minute mark. Grant Stewart.
Have to play the scrum. Have to play the scrum.
Yeah, impressive for me too about this Tasman team, Jeff, is, you know, having coached teams, that you want impact from your bench. And every one of these men who have come on for the Tasman Marcos have made a statement tonight. Francis Smith has done it all right. He's got in there, he's gone straight to work. Kevin Barty got in and took 3 hit-ups straight away.
And particularly at scrum time, because he's come on and he's continued the work they've done the left-hand side. He's continued doing that very, very well.
Gary Redmond is another one. Siwa Halanukunuka, who's been around and he knows the rules.
Well, next week, Tasman have got an opportunity against Otago at home. And, of course, Otago has got a big matchup on Sunday, of course, the Ranfurly Shield. So that'll take an emotional toll, and that'll be a big, if you're thinking about looking at the top of the championship, on form right now. Otago had a couple of great wins against 2 premiership sides, making early statements in this competition.
Well, remembering too, last week this Tasman side was level with Canterbury at half-time. No one else has done that this year. Grant Stewart wants the scrum to continue. This is all feeling a little anticlimactic.
Well, not for Tasman.
No, they're loving it.
They're absolutely loving it. They have deserved the fact that they have made a statement. They have put a whole lot of teams on notice the fact that we can come anywhere against anybody and put you under pressure.
3rd time this season that a championship team has beaten a premiership team. Otago, of course, doing it twice against Bay of Plenty and then against Waikato for the Shield. Now Tasman knocking over Counties Manukau.
Crouch!
They're looking through some stats. It's championship players who are setting the tone for this competition.
Yes, 9.
Here's Pulu. Now Sherwin Stowers trying to get on the outside. Can't quite do it. Taken down by Guyton. And pants down. Fritz Lee. And Hansey. And that falls out. So we'll have a penalty. Grant Stewart is going for a record here. Frankie Hullite into the tackle of Smith and Perry. Quick ball this time. Michael Lear with the head up. Now they got the offload off the deck. Now Ionot lets the ball go. Tasman pick it up. Marshall flung to the ground. And Kieran Fonatia, well, he thinks about kicking out and then says, I'm enjoying this so much, I think I'll carry on. Christie got the ball away to Guyton, and then they run into touch, and that will bring the curtain down on that. They were behind for a vast part of that first half and well into the second, but they have clawed their way back. They have scored 24 second half points. Counties mustering just 3. And Tasman get the job done at Pukekohe. Full-time score, 40 points to 20.